This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and I was going to make a video about the Wicked Edge sharpening system, but unfortunately I really don't have enough experience at it. What I can tell you is this latest iteration, this is March of 2015, seems to be a very solid system, a very solid design, and well put together. They lack some instructions, they lack some other things. You can find most of that on the internet. I don't have the time or this, that, or the other. I don't belong to a blade forum, and I can't sit here and tell you that this is the best system since sliced bread, but it's a very, very, very good prosumer setup. This is $750. They have a professional system. If you want to do in a knife shop and you are running through knife after knife after knife, that would be better than this one. The reason that one's better than this one, I know it's double the price, is because this one has a fixed triangle, and then you mount the blade in through here, and it takes it, well, at number one, this side's fixed, this side isn't, and it takes tools. The Pro unit for real shops has basically a lever you pull down, it locks the blade in, both, it's on a gear mechanism where both blades, the center of every knife is exactly the same place, da 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 da, I believe, okay? But for prosumer, $750, it's a good option. There's still a lot of variables with this one that aren't in the other system, but they've managed through the years to work through most of the different issues. Of course, this has a gross adjustment down here, and then it has a fine adjustment. They've changed the diameter of these rods to more match this, there, the other. This system goes from 200 all the way up to 0.6 microns. And of course, it's got some stropping compound, this, there, the other. And it's got a lot of other things that are great about it. I like this system a hell of a lot better than I like the Wicked Edge. In fact, I really don't like the Wicked Edge because it just takes... Can you get us equally good results? Yes. But I have to basically, when I'm sharpening a knife, which means I'm sharpening multiple knives, because some of you all have caught on to the fact that I buy more than one of a copy so that I have a good representation. When I set it up for one knife, I don't want to have to reset up. This is a very easy, lock one in, come up with a setup for that knife, and then go through the process on all of them. So, since I'm not going to make the video on this one, because I haven't, learned really what I need to know, let's talk about the Spyderco, or the Victorinox Serrated Edge. I really, really like this Serrated Edge. If you can see my knife, of course my knife's got a bunch of scratches on it, but the edge is... extremely bright, will reflect all of the lights that are above me, and anyone knows I use quite a few that are above me, and the edge on both sides. Now this is chisel ground. I know I have a little bit of a edge right there, but I just like it better that way. There's a couple other things I probably do a little bit different than most people do on these edges, but that's just the way it works. Now, how I get that edge, of course, is with the Spyderco Sharpmaker. The Spyderco Sharpmaker is a really good knife that will take you through a tremendous number of years, and I don't believe, honestly, you ever outgrow it. Your skill level just increases to a point to where you can get more and more out of it with the 20 and 15 degree settings, or they call it 30 and 40. But it's really 15 degrees and 20 degrees off each side. And because of the triangular stones, you can easily sharpen a serrated knife. Now I know it's designed for this knife, okay, which are those Spyderco serrations. And this is an old James Keating with S30V, da 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 da. This has been a minute, this has been a long time. You have to forgive, made in Golden, Colorado. Really, I guess similar to the a few other knives they make nowadays, but that was that one. Well, why do I really like for EDC these serrations? Do I like them as good as not having these serrations? No, but I bought the knife, so I have to deal with the serrations, and the best way to deal with those serrations is get them and keep them very, very sharp. The concept behind serrations is you have more surface area, more cutting area, and the deeper part of the blade are protected by the peaks of the serration. Now, since this is chisel ground, you are going to do most of your sharpening, and I'm not going to drag this across here on one side, okay? And then you knock your bevel off the other side, or your you don't knock your bevel off. The part of the knife that you actually lay over your burr. So you come down on this and you stroke it, and the first time you're going to sharpen this knife, it's going to take you quite a bit with this coarse serration, coarse stones to do it. My advice to you when you're sharpening any knife with a Spyderco Sharpmaker is I would index them. I would use that groove right there as a way of indexing so that you know that you are using the same parts of the stone, and you can just easily turn them, and whether you turned them or not, and and it's just a good habit. Because you'll load up one side and you'll want to turn it, and it's just a hell of a lot easier if you have them indexed. Did I turn them the right direction? Did I do this? Did I do that? If those grooves are all facing the same direction. So I'm going to come back down through here. This is the first time. I'm doing this about 20 times per side. Then I'm coming over here, knocking that burr off. You're going to feel the burr on both sides and just see how well you did. You're also going to need a loop. 4x is minimum. The 4x is good because it has good depth of field. The higher your magnification, the closer the thing you're looking at has to be towards you, because the shorter the focal length and you'll have a shallower depth of field. But 4 is a great place to start, and then, as I said, you'll never outgrow the 4x loop. So anyway, we're going to sharpen it, sharpen it, sharpen it, go to the other side. We're going to feel it, we're going to examine it visually, and did we get it to where this edge is all uniform, okay, to where we are actually grinding from the top to the bottom of the grind, okay. And with this one at the 30-degree setting, it might take you a little bit of time to get that going, but you know, it's worth the effort with these stones. You can use the diamond stones also, and I'm going to put these in here, which these are the fine, and they're indexed also. And then I'm going to go, you know, probably 20 times and 1, 20 times 1, 20 times 1. And I'm going to check, and if I got a burr on this side, I might, you know, a couple times. And you have to excuse me for not touching it, but that's just the way it is. With these, a lot of these serrated edges on these Spydercos, like especially on this one, it doesn't matter if I drag the tip off of it. I drag the tip all the way down and off. Of course, I don't want to drag it down that edge because there's already a rounded tip on that, okay? The tip of this knife is already rounded from the factory, because that's going to be a pretty useful, handy cutting surface there. Now, you don't want to do that on any of your knives that do not have that rounded tip, because it will round the tip if you do that. If you have them this away and you drag that knife off, it will round the tip. Or if you do it the other way, you know, with them on the corners and drag it all the way down that edge, it will round the tip. Anyway, let's don't worry about that so much. But we're going to do that 21. We're going to feel it. We're going to look at it. And we're going to get this edge to where we can EDC this thing and really use it in a lot of different ways. And we're going to get it to a point to where this serrated edge from this Victorinox should be able to, if I didn't touch that stone in the incorrect way, it should be easy to cut paper. Now, and that's going down the serrations, That's, you know, just working through it, Can I just keep it in one place? Yeah. Can I cut little this, there, the other off of it? Yeah, I can do all that. I can cut little curlicues if I want to. I can cut back up. I can change this, there, the other. I can keep it on the actual non-serrated part of the knife and cut through it. And that's really the advantage of this Victorinox serrations, because they're not so abrupt, they're not so rough. And with the Spyderco Sharpmaker, you can make this knife into an extremely good cutter. Why is this important? Well, in my bag, my car bag, my bob, my whatever, which the importance of it has been highlighted by current events where we've had so many people stuck on the interstate for so many hours, 24 plus hours on the interstate because of a snowstorm, because down south we are not equipped to handle snow. Up north, you may have the equipment, you may have the people with the experience behind the equipment, you may have this, there, or the other, but down south, unfortunately, we don't. So people got stuck out on I-65 and in various highways and transportation systems around because of the most recent snow event. If I don't carry another one of these in my backpack, then the one that I carry on me has to be at tip-top level of use. And I have to maintain that level of use. So, you know, has the blade stained? Yep, right there. You can sit there and see that stain on that blade. Do we have a nice polished finish off the Sharpmaker? Check. Done. Do we have a little bevel on the other side just because, you know, some people may not like that? I tend to. I tend to find that it gives me a more durable edge. If you want a little bit of a hint, one thing that I also do is, I know this is at 15 degrees right here, but I can, at the very last strokes, very lightly, I may pull it in at a steeper angle and come in and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very easily. And this side I'm going to keep at my 15 degrees, and that tends to, on these knives with this steel, which I know nothing about because it's a Victorinox and they don't publish it, it tends to give me that ability to sit there and just cut. And I am very, very happy. Maybe I have a little burr there, but no, I don't. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is how I sharpen my Victorinox serrated Swiss tool spirits and any of my other knives like that. Now, this knife in particular, you would not use that technique. What you would do is you would simply use the angles of the Sharpmaker and basically run the knife, and let me see if I can do this with the camera, run the knife down through it and then sharpen those tines. And then the best technique that I saw from who did I see do that? That was the Apostle P channel. He used and actually hand stones, I think he hand stones the whole thing, but he has his own technique. You can watch his channel to see what that is. I tend to not use any type of serration like this, except for in very, very limited use. If you have a police that's serrated from back in the day, those used to be very popular knives, and you were, going to carry it in your ballistic vest, then those type of serrations are done a little bit different way, and I really never used mine and never really cared that much, so I never had to sharpen it. It was very good from the factory, but this thing is my everyday carry, so the type of edge, the angle, and the is very important to me, and I hope that you learn enough about the different metals and learn enough about the different techniques and come up with your own solutions to problems and get the most out of your gear. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches with the Victorinox Spirit, sharpening it on the Spyderco Sharpmaker. Have a good one.